The last few generations have introduced some of the wildest new game mechanics that the franchise has ever seen. Mega Evolution, G-Max, Z-Moves. I'm curious if any of these mechanics will ever return in the future, but in the meantime, I'm sure that Generation 9 will introduce some sort of new mechanic to hook new players. Our number one choice for a new game mechanic for Generation 9 would be a new Pokemon type entirely. Only 2 generations have introduced a new type. Both the Steel and Dark type were introduced in Generation 2, and in Generation 6, trainers discovered the Fairy type. Some excellent contenders for new types include the Sound type, the Cosmic type. This would be a type to include and describe outer space creatures, aliens. We also could be looking at an artificial type. This type could also be called Technology type, Cyber type, Digital type. A great Pokemon to represent this type would be Porygon in the Porygon line. That Pokemon, I think, is a great physical representation of what this type could look like. We've already been introduced to Ultra Beasts and a lot of Pokemon who have history and lore tied up with outer space. I think the Cosmic type could be retroactively applied to a lot of existing Pokemon. Pokemon like Clefairy are said to come from the moon. Staryu and Starmie call out to the night sky. The Sound type is something that fans have been anticipating for a very long time now. Sound type has been cemented as a secondary type, an honorary type you could say, with a lot of Pokemon and moves working around this invisible framework of a Sound type. There are plenty of Pokemon that could fit nicely into this new Sound typing. Another really interesting mechanic that could be introduced into the Pokemon franchise is that of armor forms. Rumors about armored Pokemon appeared for the lead up of Generation 8. We've also seen armored Mewtwo in Pokemon Go as well as the anime. Although we've seen armored form Pokemon in the past, in the anime and Pokemon Go, we've never seen this type of form or mechanic in the main series Pokemon games. This mechanic would be very dynamic. Trainers would be able to collect unique armor pieces throughout their journey, throughout the game, similar to how you collect Mega Stones. Each unique armor type increases specific stats, abilities, and move strengths on the Pokemon you choose to equip the armor to. You'd have to find the right armor pieces for the right Pokemon. This type of min-maxing is not foreign to the current Pokemon competitive meta game, with so many different combinations of moves, abilities, and stat distributions. Min-maxing has always been a thing. An armor mechanic like this would fit very snugly in the Pokemon universe. These armors can be applied to any Pokemon similar to Z-Moves and Dynamax. However, this mechanic would be more dynamic and strategic than all of the previous gimmicks, even Mega Forms. Additionally, it would be very appealing to see Pokemon physically and visually wearing the armor that we equip to them in our item bag. I think this is something that we could be looking at further down the line as we look towards Generation 9 and beyond. Another fan favorite legacy mechanic is Shadow Pokemon. Shadow Pokemon debuted in the GameCube games. This includes Pokemon Coliseum and XD Gale of Darkness. Not only were there a huge swath of shadow Pokemon with a shadowy aura around them, there was even an entirely new Pokemon design built around this mechanic, and that was Shadow Lugia. Shadow Lugia was an entirely new Pokemon and design. After Generation 3, Shadow Pokemon kind of went off into the shadows, but for the last 3 or so years, Pokemon Go has resurrected this mechanic, and it's currently an active mechanic. What I want to know is, could these Shadow Pokemon be brought into the main series and expanded upon? I think there's no reason why these Shadow Pokemon couldn't be brought into Pokemon Home and then later into Sword and Shield. Pokemon fusion has been seen throughout the years in various stories. This includes the manga, anime, and even the main series Pokemon games. Yes, Pokemon fusion is actually a current mechanic in the Pokemon universe, but it's typically reserved for legendary Pokemon. Pokemon like Kyurem, Necrozma, and Calyrex are able to fuse with their respective box legendaries. There's also some fun fan theories that suggest Pokemon fusion has existed ever since Generation 1. This fan theory focuses specifically on trait evolutions. The theory goes that Graveler and Machoke, when they get traded, Graveler loses its second pair of arms to Machoke, who evolves and gains 2 new limbs. A similar transaction can be seen in the Generation 5 games where Shelmet and Karrablast evolve by trading together and trading elements of themselves. At the moment where these Pokemon share their attributes, they evolve. This next example of Pokemon fusion could get us banned off YouTube. Pokemon have been said to fuse with human beings. Even in Generation 1, Mewtwo is said to be created using the DNA from Mew and a human being. In Generation 7, Lusamine and Nihilego fuse together as a Generation 7 boss. Trainers fight this boss at the end of an Ultra Wormhole. Heck, we even have Ash Ketchum fusing with Greninja. If this fusion mechanic was to be brought into the main series games, I think that this mechanic would allow certain normal Pokemon to fuse together. Only a select few Pokemon could actually fuse. You would apply the fusion out of the battle, just like the current fusion mechanic. These Pokemon can be fused and unfused at will. Some examples of Pokemon that could fuse together. I'll share some examples of what Pokemon would likely be able to fuse together. I would say any bipedal Pokemon would be able to fuse with Honedge if it had arms. I also think any human-like Pokemon would be able to fuse together to ride a horse. Anything like Rapidash, Zebstrika, or the Crown Tundra steeds. I would love to see some machine or inanimate object Pokemon fusing together, something like Magnemite and Klinklang coming together to fuse an ultimate machine. I also think it's very likely that we get a lot of silly fusions. Not all new Pokemon forms can be edgy and epic. I think the Pokemon Company will get very excited about creating a fusion where Snorlax eats a food Pokemon.